We live in such a fast-paced world that we often type something down and click send. We get mad at autocorrect when we realize after the fact that it just changed one of our words to something crazy. Now, it has happened to all of us, right? When a baby was born in our family, my father-in-law texted everyone in the family and said that the name of the baby was Ethanol. My sister-in-law was like, "Is he really gassy?" We all laughed because she was the only one that didn't actually know that his name was really Ethan. And while this is funny, what happens when you have an online business and you make these kinds of mistakes or have spelling errors and grammatical errors? It becomes less funny and it can actually harm your reputation as a tutor. And this is mistake number 21, making spelling and grammatical errors online. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to write effectively on the web, some tips that I've learned over the years from my own mistakes, and some tools that can make your life a whole lot easier. My name's Joanne Kaminski, and I've been an online reading tutor since 2010, and I began helping other online tutors get found, hired, and referred in 2012. So I've been writing online since I began, whether it be social media posts, blogs, images, and I wish I could say that I never made a mistake before when writing online, but that would be a complete lie. When Pulse came out on LinkedIn, I wrote an article about conquering your fears and anxieties. And I had actually written a script for my video that I was doing on Google Hangouts, and I decided to repurpose my content into a post on LinkedIn. Now, I have always been a better speaker than a writer. So I write the way I speak. And when you're writing scripts, this can work in your favor. But when you post on LinkedIn, this can be your worst enemy. And I was called out. I thought what I had written was really great content. I mean, it was intended to motivate people and inspire them to put their fears aside and just go for it with their tutoring business. And it was content from my heart, but my heart was filled with grammar mistakes and run-on sentences. Now, Carol Markman, she responded, "Your article is useful, well thought out, and grounded. However, did you proof this piece?" When I had read that, my heart stopped. My face became beet red because in all honesty, I had taken the script and not really proofed it for LinkedIn. You can't write a script for a video and just use that content exactly as it is for LinkedIn. And I had skipped that step. And then another comment came in from Melody Smith. It said, the article was very encouraging, but I would hate for the legitimacy of your article to be minimized by silly typos. Okay, now by this point, tears are welling up in my eyes, right? Feedback online can be hurtful, but it can also change us. And I decided to take immediate action and start having someone proofread what I had written. And it was not easy for me really to see my own mistakes, so I really did need to have this. So I've come up with 6 tips to help you write better online. First, read what you've written 3 times. The first time you read it, make sure it sounds right. Look for run-on sentences, missed words, or incomplete thoughts. Decide if something needs to be explained in more detail, or maybe you've gone on and on about something that needs to be deleted. The second time that you read it, specifically look for spelling errors. Usually this is easy to spot since it's going to be underlined, but if you have used the wrong word or autocorrect took over, it's not as easy to see by just looking for lines under the word. I personally use Grammarly to help with this, and it puts a big red line under it, and then I hover over it, and it gives a suggestion of the correct spelling, and I can just click on it. I'll show you more about Grammarly in a bit. Now, the third time I read it for grammatical errors and cliches. Grammarly will give me a number that tells me how many errors I have in my piece. And you want to stay away from cliches and idioms because over time it can transform into something that is not its original intention. So for example, I used in the LinkedIn article that I talked about to make ends meet, but I spelled meet as M-E-A-T. That's because I thought the phrase was about having enough money and meet was like buying things that you need. I had changed this in my own head. I had never seen it written, and I came up with my own version. If I had stayed away from using the cliche, I could have gotten better feedback. Now, the second tip is to be friendly and not so corporate. I mean, when it comes to developing professional relationships and connecting with your followers, it's a good idea to use pronouns like I, me, and you instead of the company or the client or the team, as this is much friendlier and less corporate. And the benefit with people who want to work with you is that they get to choose you as their tutor. So the friendlier you are, the more that they're going to want to work with you. Tip 3 is don't use big words to sound smart. people actually have a hard time connecting with the intellectual smarty pants. They're looking for people that can explain things in a way that they understand. So be intentional with the words you use. Try to write at a 3rd or 4th grade level and use examples that your ideal client could connect with when explaining concepts you think they may not understand. And sometimes I have my spouse actually spot the words that he doesn't know the meaning of so that I can make sure to explain them directly after I use them. And this works well if your spouse is not connected in the education field. Tip 4 is to connect with another tutor to be like review buddies. It's so much easier to find the mistakes in somebody else's writing than it is your own. So this way you can catch even more and be as professional online as possible. Tip 5 is to be concise and get to the point. It is better to be concise and clear than to go on and on with no real point. People don't have time to read everything. They're typically just glancing and not fully taking it all in. And when you go on and on, people will go on and not read what you have written. And lastly, tip 6, make sure your images do not have grammar and spelling mistakes. Since most of us are visual by nature, our eyes gravitate towards images. And if there's an image error on your image, people will notice. And if you do happen to have a visual with an error, it's not the end of the world. You know, somebody will let you know and then you can fix it and be grateful that they told you. This is going to save your reputation because other people now won't see it once it's fixed. So don't use it as a reason to beat yourself up. Use it as a way to improve and get better. I create so much content on a weekly basis that things do get past me. And I am so grateful to my community when they notice and they bring it to my attention. They are my lifesavers. So now we're going to talk about how writing on the web is a different experience and things that you need to take into consideration. So think about the mobile experience. Starting in 2014, people started reading things online from their phones more than they did on a computer. So writing on the web is different than the kind of writing that you do in school or for professors. You need to add more white space, use headings, images, and lead with interest. And the number one place you definitely do not want to have errors on is your website. Can you imagine? Someone gets to your website and right there on the homepage is a spelling or grammar error. Now, if you are a tutor, this can mean a loss of a student immediately. They expect a higher quality of writing from us. That doesn't mean that we use big words that they don't understand, but it is grammatically correct and free of spelling errors. Now, I have seen people make errors with even the pictures they use. So they're trying to target like high school or college kids, and they have images of a teacher with 1st and 2nd graders. And this is conflicting information and confuses your reader. So it is important to know who are you writing for and to be consistent throughout your website. Now, most websites have the capability to have blogs, and this is great because it shows that your website is not just a static page, and Google loves that. But writing blog posts is another kind of writing, and many tutors will write long paragraphs, have little white space, and that makes it difficult to read online. You want to make sure to engage your readers in each article that you write. Invite them to leave feedback, comment, or share their ideas. But don't comment on any grammar or spelling mistakes on their side. That is a sure way to kill the relationship with someone who could become a client. Now, if you have liked this video so far, please hit like, subscribe, and that little bell. Now, I had mentioned earlier that one of my favorite tools is Grammarly. So now I'm going to show you how to use it and how it can really help you even when you're writing on social media. And the best part is you can install it on Chrome for free. So all you have to do is go to Grammarly.com, and you're going to see there are 3 different apps that I have on here. Now, I do have the paid version, so mine will look different than yours. But if you get the free version, it will install for your social media or anything that you write on the web. It is called Grammarly for Chrome. So all you have to do is go to the Chrome store and download it. And then you can also just click over here, and you'll be able to activate it on your computer. It'll bring you to the store and you can download it. Then when you go into your social media, here's what ends up happening. So I'm going to go to Facebook right now. We're going to go to the Ultimate Support Group for Online Tutors. By the way, if you are not a member of our group, please join us on over there. It's a bunch of tutors from all over the world who have been are either just getting started, thinking about getting started, have been tutoring for a while. Lots of great connections with other tutors can happen inside of that group. all you have to do is just click there and join us. And it looks like it didn't bring us right there, so I'm just going to click right here. All right, so when I click inside of here, you're going to notice that when I start to type, I could say, hey, everyone. You see this little button right here, right? This is the Grammarly installed inside every time I write. So I could choose to write right in here if I wanted to, or I can keep writing just like I would normally right inside of here. I could say, what are you excited? Now I'm going to make a mistake on purpose. Excited about, and look at that. And automatically lets me know that I spelled that word wrong. And so I could just click on the correct spelling. And now I don't have to worry about having an error right there for the whole world to see on my social media because I have this installed. I wish this existed on phones too. It does not. It only exists on the computer because that would be a lifesaver for me as well, because I typically will make errors when I'm on my phone. But I need to make sure that when I do anything on social media that I'm on my computer so that I have my Grammarly attached. So that's really cool. And anything that you write on the web, this will come on up. And it also will show if you don't have a sentence. So let's say I end like this with like a period. Well, now I can just click right here. It'll show me excited. I do have a question, so it doesn't actually have me add that on in there, but sometimes it will notice that stuff too. So it's not 100%. However, it is better than not having it. And again, it's a free tool. So as you can see, your reputation and image are on the line when you write online. By following the tips in this video, you're going to be more prepared and have less negative feedback from people. So stay tuned for next week when I release mistake number 22, not using call to actions. As tutors, we assume that people know to connect with us and fill out our contact form if they want to work with us. But people are more likely to take that action if we leave that call to action. We will analyze the most effective calls to action out there and see where it is relevant to add them. My name's Joanne Kaminski, the online tutor business coach, helping you get found, hired, and referred. Here's till next time. Bye, everyone.